The city is a fractured shell of its former self. Buildings crumble under the weight of conflict. A haze of smoke lingers in the air, stained red from the setting sun. The sounds of distant gunfire echo through the streets. A military drone hums above, its shadow sweeping across the cracked asphalt. Through this chaotic landscape, a lone figure moves with purpose. Elias Kane, mid-30s, grizzled and hardened by years of war and survival, walks briskly down a narrow alley, his eyes scanning every corner. His dark leather jacket is scuffed, his boots heavy with the weight of a man who's seen too many battles. He's a courier. A simple man with a dangerous job. Deliver packages. Stay under the radar. No questions asked. You don't ask questions when your job is to deliver. You just get it done. The world's fallen apart, but some things still need to be moved. Elias rounds a corner, pausing briefly to watch a firefight erupt in the distance, rebels clashing with the city's military forces. He doesn't flinch. This is the life he's chosen. The war has become background noise. He's headed to a rendezvous point, a nondescript building nestled between two bombed-out structures. The Red Fox Tavern, a front for the underground resistance. Inside, it's dark, and the air smells of stale beer and burning tobacco. The patrons don't look up when he enters. They know who he is. A man who never stays too long. Behind the bar sits Tommy, a former soldier turned barkeep, who nods as Elias approaches. Same as always. Elias doesn't answer. Instead, he hands Tommy a small, battered envelope, stamped with the insignia of a military faction. It's the usual exchange, nothing more, nothing less. Tommy takes it without comment. As Elias turns to leave, a shadowy figure at the far corner catches his attention. Evelyn Cross, a woman in her late 30s, dressed in black tactical gear, her eyes sharp and calculating. She holds a thin, unmarked package in her hands, its weight obvious even from a distance. Evelyn stands as Elias approaches, her expression unreadable. "I have a job for you, Kane. One you won't like, but it's the only one that matters right now." Elias looks at the package, suspicion flickering in his eyes. He's no stranger to odd jobs, but this one feels different. A delivery that comes with no information, no backstory. Just a directive. It's a simple delivery. Nothing more. You drop it off at the address on the label, no questions asked. Elias hesitates. There's something about the way Evelyn says it that sets his nerves on edge. He's dealt with all kinds, spies, mercenaries, corrupt officials, but there's something about her that doesn't quite fit. And the package? It feels off. Too small, too important for something so mundane. You'll be paid handsomely. No one will know you're involved. Elias eyes the package again, weighing his options. He's done deals in worse conditions, but something about the whole situation feels wrong. Evelyn's intense gaze is unwavering. This is more than a simple courier job. And in the world they live in, nothing ever stays simple for long. Before Elias can ask more questions, a distant siren blares, followed by a harsh voice over a loudspeaker. "Attention all personnel. Enemy forces detected in the area. Evacuate immediately." Evelyn's eyes flicker with urgency. She doesn't wait for Elias to respond, grabbing his arm and pulling him toward the back door. "You don't have time to ask questions. Just get it to the address on the label. Trust me, it's critical. If you care about anyone in this city, do it." The sound of gunfire grows louder outside, growing closer. Elias glances down at the package in his hand once more. It's just a delivery, he tells himself. He's made worse decisions. He's walked through worse hells. You'll be safe. But only if you move fast. They'll be looking for you. The words hang in the air as Elias looks out into the dark alleyway beyond. The storm is coming. And he's about to step right into its eye. Go. Now. Elias nods. Without another word, he steps out of the tavern and into the war zone, the weight of the unknown pressing down on him as the first drops of rain begin to fall. The streets are darker now, the only light coming from flickering street lamps and the glow of distant fires. Elias moves quickly, staying low, blending into the shadows. His mind races as he holds the small package close to his chest. He didn't ask for this. He didn't want to be part of some bigger game, but here he is, carrying something that everyone seems to want. Suddenly, shouts pierce the night. Military patrols. Elias crouches behind a burned-out car, holding his breath. His heart pounds in his chest. He hears boots on the pavement, soldiers talking in harsh tones. Nothing here. Keep moving. Elias watches the soldiers pass, his pulse steadying. That was too close. He breathes a sigh of relief, but it's short-lived. As he stands to move, a flash of movement catches his eye, mercenaries, dressed in black armor, scanning the streets. They're moving deliberately, systematically. He knows they're not looking for rebels. They're looking for him. Elias doesn't wait to find out if they've spotted him. He dashes down an alley, his boots pounding on the cracked pavement. The package is tucked into his jacket, but it's becoming more than just a weight in his chest. It feels like a ticking time bomb, an unwelcome pressure pressing on him from every side. Elias arrives at a dilapidated building, its windows shattered, walls tagged with symbols of resistance. He enters cautiously, slipping past the rubble and into the dim interior. The air smells of mold and decay. Raoul, a man Elias hasn't seen in years, steps out from the shadows. He's younger than Elias, but the years have done their damage. He's hardened, merciless. The former friend turned enemy. Kane. Always the courier. Always running errands. Elias doesn't flinch, though his hand instinctively moves toward the sidearm at his waist. I don't know what you've got there, but you shouldn't have taken this job. Raoul's eyes narrow, a flicker of something deeper in his gaze. Elias' pulse spikes. The last thing he needs is a confrontation with Raoul, someone who knows him too well. I'm just doing my job, Raoul. Get out of my way. Raoul steps forward, blocking the door. You don't get it. That package, it's not just some cargo, Kane. You're carrying something that could change everything. For all of us. And I'm not letting you walk out of here with it. Elias feels a cold chill run down his spine. Raoul knows something he doesn't. Something about the package. His mind races. Before he can react, gunshots suddenly ring out from the street. More mercenaries, closing in on their location. Elias makes a snap decision. Without a word, he pushes Raoul aside and bolts for the back exit. He can feel the pressure mounting, not just from the mercenaries, but from a sense of unease gnawing at him. This mission isn't just about a package anymore. It's about survival. The chase intensifies. Mercenaries are everywhere. They've got him cornered. Elias knows he can't keep running forever. He slips through the wreckage of an old marketplace, ducking behind crates and overturned cars. His breath comes in ragged bursts as he hears the pursuit getting closer. He needs a plan. He needs to. A flash of light, a siren wails through the night air. Then, an explosion rocks the ground beneath him. Shit. The shockwave knocks him off his feet, sending the package flying from his grip. He scrambles to recover it, but as he does, a figure emerges from the smoke and debris. It's General Balthazar, a towering man in a military uniform, his face stone-cold and unreadable. He steps forward, a slow smile spreading across his lips. I was wondering when you'd show up, Kane. Balthazar is flanked by his elite squadron of soldiers. They've been tracking him for some time, but they've let him run, because they know the real game is just beginning. I don't know what you're after, Balthazar, but you're too late. Balthazar steps forward, his voice calm but cold. You've got no idea, Kane. The package you're holding is worth more than your life. Elias' mind races as he tries to assess the situation. He's trapped. The mercenaries are closing in. The pressure of the mission, the importance of the package, seems to weigh heavier on him by the second. But he's not out of options yet. You want it? Come get it. With that, Elias bolts down a side alley, the full force of Balthazar's soldiers and mercenaries in hot pursuit. The chase has become a deadly game, and Elias knows there's only one way out: destroy the package, or let it change the world forever. The chase has led Elias into a dead end. His heart pounds in his chest as he skids to a halt, facing a solid brick wall, with no way out but the road ahead. Blocked by General Balthazar and his soldiers, mercenaries closing in from all sides. Elias' pulse quickens, but his mind races even faster. The package, that little piece of weight in his jacket, might be the only thing keeping him alive right now. He's cornered, but he's not beaten. Not yet. He turns to face Balthazar, who is moving forward, a smirk playing at the corners of his lips. He's been in control this whole time, pulling the strings behind the scenes. Elias can see the man's satisfaction in the way he moves, calm and collected. Balthazar knows this is the endgame. You didn't know, did you, Kane? What you're carrying is far more than a simple weapon. It's a catalyst, the kind of thing that can reshape everything. A war changer. Balthazar steps closer, the weight of his words hanging in the air like a heavy fog. Elias can't help but feel the cold truth settling over him. The package isn't just a biological agent, it's something far more dangerous, a weapon that could turn the tide of the entire war. And it's in his hands. I'm not here to play your game, Balthazar. I'm here to end it. Balthazar laughs, a low, menacing sound. You think you can stop it? You're just a courier, Kane. A pawn. The package is already activated. The moment you made contact, you were already part of the plan. As he speaks, Balthazar's soldiers move forward, closing the gap. The package weighs down on Elias's chest like a death sentence. He has seconds, maybe less, to decide. Elias shifts his stance, feeling the cold metal of his gun against his side. His hand hovers over it, but then he notices the timer etched into the side of the package. It's ticking down. His heart skips a beat. I didn't sign up for this. No. But you're already in it. Without hesitation, Elias rips the package from his jacket and throws it into the street. He aims his weapon at Balthazar. Game over. Balthazar's face falls, and the mercenaries hesitate. For a moment, Elias thinks he might be able to escape, but there's one thing he didn't see coming. A clicking sound, and the package begins to hiss. No. The agent inside isn't biological, it's a chemical trigger designed to unleash chaos. Balthazar was playing him all along. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a massive manipulation. The package had one final function, to unleash a global catastrophe. You're too late, Kane. Elias doesn't have time to second guess. In a swift motion, he pulls the pin from a grenade on his belt. Without warning, he tosses it directly at the package. The explosion rocks the alley, throwing both sides into chaos. Everything happens in a blur. The flashbang momentarily blinds everyone. Elias is thrown backward, his ears ringing from the explosion. He scrambles to his feet, vision blurry. Balthazar's voice fades, and the mercenaries are disoriented, losing their cohesion. But Elias doesn't hesitate. The war zone has claimed so many lives, but he's not going to let this be the one that ends his. He grabs the package, now a smoldering wreck, and throws it into the burning wreckage of the alley. The fire consumes it, engulfing everything in a blaze of light. The city is eerily quiet for a moment. The explosion has torn through the heart of the alley, and smoke billows in every direction. Elias stands, breathing heavily, sweat and blood streaked across his face. His ears still ring, but the weight in his chest is gone. For now, the world is safe. But then, footsteps approach. Elias whips around, expecting another enemy. It's Raoul, the old friend, now standing at a distance. I told you. You didn't know what you were holding. Elias doesn't respond. His body is exhausted, his mind racing with the fallout of his actions. But you did it. You stopped it. And now, the war will change. Maybe not for the better, but you stopped the worst. Elias doesn't answer. He doesn't need to. He's already made his choice. He turns to leave, the burning city stretching before him, his future uncertain, but the package destroyed, and the war a little less certain. The chaos of the night is slowly giving way to the muted light of dawn. The city, scarred and broken, stretches before Elias as he walks alone through the streets, his footsteps heavy but determined. The distant sounds of war have quieted for now, but there's no illusion of peace. The war rages on, but its course has shifted, thanks to Elias. The streets are empty, save for the remnants of the explosion. Buildings smolder in the early morning light. Elias' hand brushes against the fabric of his jacket, where the weight of the now destroyed package once lingered. The aftermath of his choice is evident, and yet, it feels like he's barely escaped the eye of the storm. His mind drifts to Evelyn, Raoul, and Balthazar, faces from a night that now feels like a lifetime ago. Raoul's words echo in his mind, "You stopped it. The war will change, but not for the better. You stopped the worst." He pauses at the edge of a burned-out building, looking out at the horizon where the sun barely pierces the smoky clouds. It's never the end. It's just another beginning. For better or worse, this war, it doesn't stop. And neither do we. He takes a deep breath, the weight of what he's done settling on his shoulders. The world is still fractured, and Elias knows that his role in it is far from over. But for the first time in a long while, he feels the burden of his choices in a different way. It's not just about survival anymore. It's about facing what's left. Faint gunfire sounds in the distance, a reminder that the world is still at war, but Elias doesn't flinch. He simply walks on, disappearing into the broken streets. He's just one man, but the weight of his actions ripples through the war-torn city. The gamble he took, the choice to destroy the package, may have saved lives, but it also ensured that nothing would ever be the same.